Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hey everyone, I'm Angela Fazio.
And I'm Kristen Cantrell. Welcome to Moms in Real Estate. Today we are interviewing Gina Keilen out of Arizona.
We're really excited about this topic. It's coaching and systems for massive growth in your business. So Gina, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
We've known each other for so long. We're like all friends in here. So, but the audience doesn't know you yet. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So I have been in real estate since 2004, but I really got into it in 2016. So my first experience, I went to ASU. I knew right away I wanted to get into real estate. So I went and worked for a home builder for 4 years before and after the recession. So started family and all of that. And then once my youngest was in preschool, I just wanted to get back into the real estate world. And that's when I started back in resale. So the idea being just to sell a few homes a year because my kiddo was going to school from 9 in the morning to 11:30. And then as his day got longer, then hopefully I could grow into the role. And I've been loving it and growing every year since.
Yeah, and I've watched that happen with you where you have been like very good about like, hey, I'm part-time right now. And then as your kids went to school, like you've just exploded, which is so cool. And I find it really remarkable that you went from new home sales to resale when you did. Was that a hard choice?
It wasn't just because the needs of my life changed. Like new homes is great, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're selling a product, you're selling a community, you're selling these shiny models, but you work bell to bell. So you work every weekend, you work every holiday, and you are not working for yourself. Where when you get into resale, it was just much more conducive for a family because you can make of it what you want. So if you do want to sell a few homes a year and be a mom most of the time, you can do that. But if you want to explode in your business and still be a mom, you can do that too.
Yeah, that's really, you have a lot of patience. I don't know if I would have had the patience to restrict my working as my kids grew like that. I mean, that's extraordinary.
Well, thank you for that.
That really is.
I mean, same, right? Because I feel like when you are working, you put in and then you get out. So it's really easy to get those kudos and to get those rewards. Where at home, you just don't get that same feeling. You're constantly putting and giving, and you love your kids, but it's just not the same kind of feeling. It's not the same reward. You don't get the same kudos. So I love work. I love investing in my business. So that was hard, definitely.
And so tell us about you love investing in your business because this is the topic today, right? And so tell us, like, how has that changed your business?
It's night and day. It's mostly, well, two things. One, systems. I think in general, most realtors are not business owners. They don't see themselves as business owners. They're just constantly chasing the next deal, and that's not going to lead to growth. So number one was investing in coaching. So going back to new homes, I was a new home sales agent for 4 years. So one of the first things I did when I came into real estate was reach out to all those old contacts and see what they were doing, because a lot of them had converted to resale.
Smart that she had the contacts.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
If any of you are new home salespeople, make sure you keep
Gather
that list.
contacts.
Yes.
Well, and that's to your point. It wasn't buyers and sellers. It was old agents that I had worked with. But that is a great point. If you're able to stay in contact with the people you've worked with, that's a great way to get started. But I had reached out to someone who was actually the IT guy at the time. He was 20 years old, working for D.R. Horton Homes. And out of everyone that I had contacted, he was doing 100 transactions a year, and he did not have a big team. So I questioned him as to what he was doing, and he explained this coaching program. So I did not have the money to do it at the time. In fact, I opened a credit card that had 0% interest for a year and just saying, I'm going to put it on this in hopes that it gets me one more deal and it pays for itself. And it was by far the best decision I ever did, not just from a systems perspective and changing that mindset from realtor to business owner, but also the accountability piece that every week, are you doing these activities and what result is coming from them? And just working it hard for a year to really see, those efforts come to fruition.
So I imagine that not only were you being introduced to systems that you weren't accustomed to, but you also formed some really great habits over a year. But what I'm really curious to know, I'm sure the audience is too, is can you name one or two systems or ideas or something that you developed during that year that you can point at and say, that really built a strong foundation for me?
Absolutely. The first I would say is it took my mindset from, again, finding that next buyer to what my business really is prospecting. 90% of my day should be finding deals and finding opportunities.
Yep.
So what activities should I be doing to create those opportunities? So that was probably the best piece that I got, was the very first tool that they gave us, because as soon as things start to wane, I have a tool that I could pick up and say, okay, I need to be doing this many phone calls. I need to be sending this many thank you cards. I need to be posting this many videos. I need to, be going to this many events every week. And I have goals each week. And as I do those activities, I write them down. The name that I talk to, I write it down. And I'm tracking that every week. And as soon as I start ramping that back up, the business comes my way.
Oh my gosh, I cannot agree with that more, because we literally, Chuck and I went from 0 to 12 million because that clicked in our head. Go meet people.
And it's the simplest thing, but sometimes we need somebody to tell us the simplest thing, and like it needs to be top of mind, like you're saying. So real quick, let's back up. And what coaching program are you talking about? So everyone on here, I know they're curious.
I mean, I think any of them are similar, but the one that I did is called the Core.
Yeah, I thought so. And the Core is a very popular one.
Yeah, it's a great program. I know from the time that I did it to now, the price has significantly increased.
Okay.
So just to put that out there, I think it's worth every penny, but I know there are a lot of established coaching programs out there that will probably get you those same results. And just back to systems a little bit, the other piece that really clicked was that CRM, which forever they say, get a CRM, have a database. And I kid you not, I can't tell you how many times I sat down to put those names in there, and it was like a block. I just could not pull myself to do it. But once
terrible.
I saw it in action, once I saw it in action, I was able to sit down and input everything. And now I know, okay, my goal is to have 400 to 600 people in there, and this is how I work it. And every time I make a phone call, there's a note, a thank you card, a note.
Well, you saw big picture. You're like, okay, I got to get this. So then when you were doing the tedious, like hard part of it, you're like, okay, this is going to get me to that, and it's not as painful.
Absolutely. To see someone else put it into action.
Yes.
And then it was much easier for me to do it.
Yes. And you get used to it. I feel like I was like you. I didn't want anything to do with the database, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, they didn't go in my KV core, and now I don't remember who they are. Like when you're prospecting every day like you're taught, you can't remember everybody. Yeah. So you have to have those notes. And then it's like, oh, yes, I remember now. Like, we're not superhumans. We need help, especially when we're moms. We're like all over the place. So that is important.
Well, and just one piece to really put that to use that maybe someone else can use is, so on Thursdays are our letter of the week. So the first week is A, the second week is B, C. So you go through your database and you put those names as phone calls to make. And if you do that every week, you're going to contact everyone in your database twice a year.
Love it.
What a simple but easy to follow tip. That was excellent.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great because then you're not, oh, I haven't talked to you in 2 years. Do you remember who I am? I mean, it's a great way to stay top of mind.
And you love the week where it's X.
It's X week.
That's right. I mean, that's literally why I plan my events. I plan them all year long so that I have a reason to call everybody. And I love my events and I love connecting with people. So I'm like, that's my way of calling them. It's not anything but like, hey, let's go have fun together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or let me provide value. Let me provide value socially. Or I do a lot of trainings too. So it's like, but I plan out the whole year so that I have those reasons.
Yep, and then you're accountable to it.
Yeah.
I have a question about follow-up.
Okay.
So that is probably the weakest point in most, even if you have CRMs, even if you have your database going, what are some tips that you use for follow-up?
So follow-up for people that are past clients or just in general?
Just in general. Like, and what I mean by that is we follow up on leads. We follow up on past clients. We follow up on whatever we're following up on. But what are you doing to systematize or hold yourself accountable or creating reasons to follow up?
Okay. Well, I can come at that from two ways. So first, if there's someone who is a current client, I have something that is, again, another piece that I learned from the core, but I have sort of tweaked it to my business, and it's called the WOW checklist. So the second we have a buyer or a listing phone call, I have a whole worksheet that I fill out while I'm on the phone with them. So that's our first system, right? And then at the bottom is just a whole checklist. Have they been entered into the CRM? Have they been put on our lead tracker? Have they been sent our app for searching MLS? Another piece is I send videos at each stage. So after that phone call, they get a video of me. Hey, thanks so much for reaching out. Here's what to expect. You know, I just wanted to introduce myself. Here's our team. So throughout the transaction, they're constantly getting these videos. They're constantly getting these touches with different gifts. So we have a moving kit gift. We have an under contract gift. So we really try to make the experience of when they're working closely with us memorable.
That is so
That
big
is
because the number one complaint from people is lack of communication. And what you do is hitting so many different communication styles. So like somebody might get a long email and they're like, oh, I don't want to read all that. But if you send somebody a video, they're like, perfect. That, at least me, I'm thinking of me. Not a lot of people send videos, but I think it really like even makes a bigger impact long term for them remembering you because they're seeing your face more often. And it's scary to get in front of the camera, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we have ones that are pre-recorded that are just sort of, you know, templated, if you will, but we've also made the investment in a program called BombBomb, which is exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Every time we email someone, it's me. I have a whiteboard with their name so they know it's a video made for them.
Yeah.
So hopefully they click on that link, but if they don't, everything is written out underneath too, because if they prefer to read it, then you're reaching out to them with two different styles.
I love it.
I'm not going to lie. I am like a proud mama. Can you imagine when we first all knew each other, if we would have fired these questions at you, you would not have been able to answer so confidently, so like emphatically, like you know what you're doing, and you do know what you're doing. This is awesome. I'm like a proud mom.
Yeah, your growth is so fun to watch. It really is.
Because these tips, I'm like, gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
They're good.
I love tactical takeaways.
I
always say
you
that.
You said it like sexy.
I know, because I'm like, they are sexy. I'm like, cool, I have stuff to go do now. I love it.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's wrap up by telling people, like, if they wanted to follow you on social media, how do they do that? And also, if you have any, like, words of wisdom for an agent out there, share that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're new in the industry, just be patient, you know, be willing to take those risks because they will pay off. I am on Instagram, yet another system that I'm super proud of.
It is a system.
It is.
It is.
I think you need to look at that as almost like your digital resume because that's the first place people are going to go, oh, you think Gina Keilen's a great realtor? Like, let me check her out. Do I have a website? Yeah, but chances are most people are seeing me on social media.
I don't want to go to a website. I like, and even like Linktree is so important because if I have to go to a website and search for something, I'm like, I can't find it.
I hate scrolling. Where's the phone
I
number?
like the
Where's
link.
the
This.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so my Instagram is gina.keilen. It's Keilen. But yeah, I mean, make use of that as well. I think a lot of new agents that have come to me to ask for advice, I think they go to social media looking to get cold leads from it. And that's just not the best use. I think it's more about constantly reminding the people who already know you that I do real estate and showing those evidence of success and having them get to know you. So it's definitely worth investing that time, but just making sure that you're doing it for people that already know you and just building that trust and constantly reminding them that you do real estate.
Yes.
And I think there's one more thing I want to point out because it's so easy to listen to Gina and say, oh my God, that girl's got her shit together. How am I ever going to get to that level where I have these great systems? These all came together in like 2 months, right? All your systems?
She's like funny.
I mean, how long, if you want to encourage people to say this is a process and it's a process worth doing, what's a time frame would you say that it took from a girl with no systems to where you are today?
I mean, commit an entire year. And any coaching
There you
program you do, that's what they're going to want to see. And you got to think the efforts that you're putting in today, you're probably not going to see the fruits of those labors for 90 days. So if you can give yourself a full year to build and grow, I think you're definitely going to see, you know, your business come together, your business grow, and you're going to have confidence that you could take that knowledge and do it on your own. I mean, I highly encourage you to continue with that coaching if you're able to do so, but give yourself that 12 months. And everything that I've done is during the time that my kids are at school. So I work from 9 to 3, and that's it. And I feel like it's made all the difference because you are.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. The fact that my work day.
Yeah, your work hours.
I work from 9 to 3.
Yeah.
I might have the occasional showing or open house on the weekend, but where the majority of my business is done is while they're at school.
And do you know why she can do that? Is she's freaking intentional. Like
you're a $9 million producer, right?
Yeah.
Am I right about that? Or
yes,
10?
I would have just made 10 if that last one closed December 31st.
You're a $10 million producer from 9 to 3 with intentional, systematic, focused work.
Yeah,
That's
so when
awesome.
people tell you like, oh, you have to work 24/7, yeah, if you don't have systems in place, you do. However, if you're smart, you'll do what Gina did and organize your shit.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's no point in reinventing the wheel. Like, go find the system if you want to make it your own, but exactly, be intentional with your time so that you can be effective.
I love it.
Awesome.
You've been so good. I'm so happy you're
Thank you
here.
so much for having me.
I hope you all have some tactical takeaways. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, Gina, thank you so much. That was packed full. Like, that's something I want to go back and listen to again.
Same. Totally.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for the privilege of having me. I'm honored, honestly. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you guys for listening and have a great day.